Welcome back, movie lovers. Today, we're diving into the cosmic adventure of Marvel's 2014 blockbuster, Guardians of the Galaxy. Get ready for an intergalactic journey filled with action, humor, and unforgettable characters. Let's blast off! Our story begins with Peter Quill, played by Chris Pratt, a charming rogue who calls himself Star-Lord. As a child, Peter was abducted from Earth by a group of space pirates known as the Ravagers. Fast forward 26 years, and we see him on the planet Morag, dancing his way to steal a mysterious orb. But Peter isn't the only one interested in the orb. We meet Gamora, a deadly assassin with a conscience, played by Zoe Saldana. She's sent by the villainous Ronan the Accuser to retrieve the orb. Then there's Rocket, a genetically modified raccoon voiced by Bradley Cooper. And his loyal companion Groot, a talking tree voiced by Vin Diesel. They're bounty hunters who see capturing Peter as their next big payday. Our mismatched heroes are thrown into prison, where they meet Drax the Destroyer, played by Dave Bautista. Drax seeks vengeance against Ronan for the murder of his family. Together, they hatch a plan to escape and sell the orb, splitting the profits. But they soon discover that the orb holds an Infinity Stone, a powerful artifact that Ronan plans to use to destroy planets. Realizing the danger, the group decides to work together to keep the orb out of Ronan's hands. They become the Guardians of the Galaxy, a team bound by their desire to protect the universe. The climax of the movie takes us to the planet Xandar, where Ronan, wielding the Infinity Stone, launches an attack. The Guardians, with the help of the Ravagers and the Nova Corps, engage in an epic battle to stop him. Still reeling from the loss of Gamora, Peter Quill rallies his team to defend the universe and one of their own, a mission that could mean the end of the Guardians if not successful. In Marvel Studios' Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 3, our beloved band of misfits are looking a bit different these days. Peter Quill, still reeling from the loss of Gamora, must rally his team around him to defend the universe along with protecting one of their own. A mission that, if not completed successfully, could quite possibly lead to the end of the Guardians as we know them. With everyone around him dead and Gamora's tragic demise in Avengers Infinity War 2018 etched on his mind, a broken Peter Quill drowns his sorrows in nowhere, the Guardians' headquarters. But life and time wait for no one. And as a devastating blow comes out of nowhere, leaving a dear friend incapacitated, the depressed Star-Lord must pull himself together to assemble his crew for one last life and death mission. This time, however, it seems the space defenders have bitten off more than they can chew. They say the third time's the charm. But with the dark past catching up with them, can the Guardians of the Galaxy 2014 thwart the sinister plans of an unstoppable intergalactic megalomaniac? Can they save the universe one more time? Due to losing his beloved Gamora during the events of Infinity War, Peter Quill is in a dismal state of depression. But now, Peter must rally the Guardians of the Galaxy to come back together once more when Rocket's past comes back to haunt him. Along with aid from the Ravagers and a duplicate Gamora who doesn't remember her last life with the team. The Guardians travel to a world that is similar to Earth, full of anthropomorphic animal experimentations, that is, ruled by the malicious High Evolutionary who seeks to make the universe better in his image. Now it will take all the wit and charm and strength of the Guardians to fight the High Evolutionary's plans and save the universe one final time. Peter is still depressed over losing Gamora at the hands of Thanos back in Infinity War and 2014. Gamora has no memory of her future relationship with Peter. But things become worse for the Guardians of the Galaxy when Rocket is severely injured by Adam Warlock, son of the disgraced High Priestess Aisha. In order to save Rocket from dying, the Guardians decide to infiltrate Orgo Corp. With the help from 2014 Gamora, who has joined the United Ravagers. The Guardians soon learn that the High Evolutionary is responsible for experimenting on Rocket many years ago on Counter-Earth. But horrific truths will soon come into light for the heroes, including the High Evolutionary's desperation to capture Rocket for his illegal experiments. Peter is in depression ever since Gamora lost her memory from the last few years. At their new headquarters on Nowhere, the Guardians of the Galaxy are attacked by Adam Warlock Wolpolter, a sovereign warrior created by High Priestess Aisha Elizabeth Debitsky, who seeks to destroy them for stealing from her. Adam easily defeats Rocket, Mantis, Peter, Nebula, and Groot. Kraglin's arrows cannot pierce Adam's metallic skin. Even Drax is no match for Adam's strength and is subdued. After critically wounding Rocket Bradley Cooper, Adam is stabbed by Nebula Karen Gillan and flees. The Guardians' med packs are useless at healing Rocket's wounds. Who has a kill switch embedded in him by Orgacorp, a company led by the high evolutionary Chukwudi Iwuji, Rocket's creator. The code on Rocket's kill switch is 89P13. The Guardians travel to Orgacorp's headquarters to find the switch's override code and save Rocket's life. Kraglin is left in charge of Nowhere with Cosmos, whom Kraglin considers an ugly dog. As Rocket lies unconscious, he recalls his past. He was found as a baby raccoon and was experimented on by the High Evolutionary, an alien cyborg scientist and CEO of Orgacorp specializing in creating hybrid creatures and Rocket's creator, seeking to forcibly enhance all living beings into a special race where he has been credited as creating the Animan, the Humanimals, the Hellspawn, the Sovereign, the Zeronians, and the Star Children, to create an ideal society called Counter-Earth. Rocket befriended his fellow Batch 89 test subjects, the otter Lila Linda Cardellini, the walrus Teefs Asim Chaudhry, and the rabbit Floor Michaela Hoover. The High Evolutionary was impressed by Rocket's growing intelligence and used his insight to fix a defect in later humanimal batches, but planned to harvest Rocket's brain for further research and exterminate the obsolete Batch 89. The High Evolutionary shows Rocket how he has perfected programmed evolution. But for some reason, the evolved organisms are violent by nature. Rocket is able to point out specific changes to the evolutionary program that would help control the level of violence tendency in the evolved organisms. After making the suggested changes, the programmed evolution sequence works. The High Evolutionary is amazed that Rocket, from Batch 89, was able to figure this technology out, but could not figure out that Batch 89 was only an experiment and not meant for the new world he was building. Rocket attempted to free his friends before the High Evolutionary killed Lila and mocked Rocket for showing grief over her death. Enraged, Rocket mauled the High Evolutionary's face, whose henchmen killed Teefs and Floor in the ensuing firefight. Rocket fled in a spaceship. Back in the present, Aisha is shown to be working for the High Evolutionary. High Evolutionary is livid with Aisha for knowing of 89P13's existence for several years without alerting him. High Evolutionary wants 89P13 returned to him, else he promises to wipe out Aisha's entire sovereign race. The Ravagers are an interstellar criminal syndicate that specialize in thievery, trafficking, and piracy. There were nearly 100 factions of Ravagers around the galaxy. Each faction has a captain of its own, leading their operations, including an alternate version of Gamora. Zoe Saldana help the Guardians infiltrate Orgacorp. Peter tries to get Gamora to remember their life together, but she says that it was some future version of her, and not her who fell in love with Peter. Gamora also points out that the things Peter loves, it sounds like he is in love with Nebula. Orgacorp is completely made of organic material. Gamora gets them in via a decompression chamber, but the group is soon discovered. They retrieve Rocket's file and fight off Orgacorp sentries to be picked up Groot, who FLIs in with their spaceship. The group discover that the code to override the kill switch was removed, with the likely culprit being Theo Nico Santos, one of the High Evolutionary's advisors. High Evolutionary has used Orgacorp to fund his experiments that lie outside intergalactic law. The Guardians, along with Gamora, depart for Counter-Earth to find him. Gamora argues that this is a trap since the High Evolutionary is looking for Rocket, and they are taking him straight to the High Evolutionary. Gamora signals the Ravagers to pick her up, but her communication is intercepted by Aisha, who follows the Guardians with Adam. The Guardians reach Counter-Earth and are guided to the Elite Laboratories complex. Drax, Dave Bautista and Mantis Palm Clemente remain with Gamora and Rocket. While Peter Quill, Chris Pratt, Groot, Vin Diesel, and Nebula travel to Elite. Nebula is forced to wait outside the complex by guards as she is armed. Quill and Groot enter Elite to meet the High Evolutionary, while Drax tricks Mantis into pursuing Quill's group. As Quill's group is engaged in banter by the High Evolutionary, he launches an attack by his guards on Quill's ship to retrieve Rocket. Gamora saves Rocket from being captured by Adam and the High Evolutionary's guard were Pig Judy Greer. Adam kills War Pig as he wanted to present Rocket to the High Evolutionary and save the Sovereign. Questioned by Quill, the High Evolutionary admits this version Counter-Earth society is imperfect. So he bombards the planet, killing the humanimals as well as Aisha. This enrages Adam, who considered Adam as his mother. Adam's ship is destroyed and he has no option but to take shelter with Gamora. Elite departs as a spaceship, with Nebula, Drax and Mantis boarding it to rescue Quill and Groot, who instead escape Elite with Theo, who they kill before retrieving the code from his corpse and being rescued by Gamora in their ship. As Quill's group uses the code, Rocket flatlines and has a near-death experience, in which he reunites with Lilla, Teefs, and Floor. He learns from Lilla that his time has not yet come, as Quill uses the code to disable the kill switch and restart Rocket's heart. Drax, Nebula, and Mantis encounter several genetically modified humanoid children on Elite before being captured by the High Evolutionary. The High Evolutionary wants Peter to bring Rocket to him in exchange for the captured trio. Peter contacts Kraglin on the Knower to help. The High Evolutionary tells his advisors that in thousands of generations that he created, only one experiment led to true intelligence, and that was Rocket, which is studying him is critical. The other Guardians stage a rescue, leading to a battle against the High Evolutionary's forces. Kraglin Sean Gunn fires on Elite with Knower, dooming Elite. Kraglin and Cosmos then help to save Knower's citizens from a counterattack by the High Evolutionary's Hellspawn. Cosmos is revealed to have telekinetic abilities. Intent on retreat, the High Evolutionary's crew mutiny only to be killed by their leader. Drax, Nebula, and Mantis befriend three monstrous obelisks to escape and reunite with Quill's group. The Guardians delay leaving Elite, choosing to rescue the children created by the High Evolutionary, who escape to Knower via a tunnel constructed by Cosmos telekinesis. Rocket discovers imprisoned animals on the ship before being confronted by the High Evolutionary, whom the other Guardians defeat. Rocket spares the High Evolutionary, and the Guardians help the animals escape to Knower. Quill nearly dies trying to cross over, but is saved by Adam, who was saved from Elite by Groot, as everyone deserves a second chance. In the end, Quill decides to leave the Guardians, naming Rocket as captain, and travels to Earth to reunite with Jason Greg Henry, his grandfather. Mantis embarks on a journey of self-discovery with the Obelisks, Gamora rejoins the Ravagers, and Nebula and Drax remain on Knower to raise the rescued children. In a mid-credits scene, the new Guardians, consisting of Rocket, Groot, Kraglin, Cosmo, Adam, Phyla, one of the rescued children, and Adam's pet Blurp, take on a new mission. In a final showdown, Peter distracts Ronan with a dance-off, giving the team a chance to destroy Ronan's weapon. They manage to control the Infinity Stone's power by working together, ultimately saving Xandar from destruction. With the day saved, the Guardians are hailed as heroes. They decide to stay together, embarking on new adventures across the galaxy. And remember, there's more to come as the Infinity Stone storyline continues to unfold in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Guardians of the Galaxy is a wild ride packed with humor, heart, and spectacular visuals. It introduced us to a ragtag group of misfits who became unlikely heroes. If you enjoyed this summary, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more movie breakdowns. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.